Hi everyone, I'm Luchishmita and today's my topic is from the book The Business of 21st Century. So all we know that due to pandemic, more than 70 millions of people lost their job. So now they are thinking that their livelihood is in risks. But it was not became risks by one night. It was risks always. But we notice that when it haunts our pocket. So this book what teach now how to create wealth, what is wealth and how it's affect how this wealth affect our future. So what money we are incoming, that is we can't call as wealth. Your size of money will not decide the wealth. So what we call as wealth, if today you lost your job today, and from for how much, how many day you can survive yourself, that is calculate as your wealth. And one more thing I want to say that only job is not sufficient for create wealth, because um, how we create wealth now when you are ready to take risks, and when you are able to solve many problems, and you are able to face many difficult situations, and in that situation you can able to create money, that is called as that is called as actually wealth. And it is possible when beyond your job you will do some side incomes like entrepreneur also one of that. So to always we have to think about not only to income money or not only income paychecks. Beyond that we have to keep some safe income source, so it can help us to create wealth. And it is possible when we set our mind like we have to do job, or beyond the job we have to do something which can create wealth for us. Thank you. That's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Smita. In fact, the book talks about more of an entrepreneurship mindset, which is actually relevant in your job also, because until unless we have that mindset in our life, no matter whatever work you do, it reflects. The output always reflects. So, in fact, I was talking to Smita. She was telling, imagine if you start working in your company and your manager gives a task, and you just take the task and finish it. That's it. That is not an entrepreneurship mindset. You take that task, see whether the task is under in production, and make sure the client is using, make sure the whole feature what you developed is completely up and running without any mistake, without any flaw. That is where is ownership mindset. So entrepreneurship mindset is all about ownership, and that will actually give us success in whatever endeavor we start with. Amazingly covered, Luchesmita. Thank you so much for sharing your learnings. All right, we'll go next. Girija, if you're online, I'll spotlight you. Just a second. Yeah.
So, in our last book club, few of our participants said that we practice, but we didn't see any significant improvement in our speaking. So that was the problem statement. To solve that problem, I spoke to few of our good speakers in our book club and taken down few points. Also, saw few of the videos from social media channels, specifically the World Champion of Public Speaking in YouTube, to uncover or unravel the secrets of this preparation and pass on to you. So, if you follow these 7 secrets in 7 weeks, you will be a different you. Whatever your current version is, you will be better speaker definitely. So that's my promise. And with that promise, let me start. So there are we want our speech to be impactful, so we focus more onto the content. But there is a secret: the content is only 7% of our speech, only 7%. So what is the weightage of other areas? There are 3 components in our speech. Okay, first is our visual cues. Visual is our body, mainly the when you speak in front of public, our legs and our body posture and our hands and eyes, these come into the visual part. Okay, so when we are present in front of camera, my eyes should be focusing on the camera, my hands should be moving to wait give direction to my speech, right? So these visual aid adds 50% to our presentation. So which is ignored by most of us. Even myself was not using my visual part not very much, but now we should be aware that this adds 55% weightage to our speech. Second is 38% is vocal. Vocal means the way we pronounce our words, the way we add variation to our speech. Sometimes moving fast, sometimes moving slow, after taking a pause in between a question. So these are called vocal varieties. Okay, how we pronounce and take pause and vary our speed, the vocal variety mainly. Okay, the rest 7% is only content. So we need to focus on the 93% part. And how to focus on the 93% part along with the 7% that I'll be covering. So there is a acronym. It is easy to remember. BF is PhD. Remember, BF is PhD. Okay, best friend is PhD. Whatever you want to remember. So BF, B stands for breathe. F stands for focus. Is. I stands for inflection. S stands for C or eye contact. PhD. P is for pause. H for hands. And D is for dump the injections, the complex words. Okay. Now coming to each component. Breathe. Before and during the speech, breathe. Why breathing is required? Because it pumps oxygen to your brain. It allows you to think clearly while you are speaking, to read the audience mind, their interest, and change your speech. Without oxygen, sometimes it remember sometimes during the speech you get frozen, right? Because your brain stops working while you want to speak. So that's why oxygen is required continuously. Before the speech, it relaxes you, and during the speech, it gives you continuous input to your brain. Okay, so we need to breathe continuously naturally. Okay, now second is focus. So in a speech there are many content, right? In my speech there are 7 parts to it, right? But while focusing, I need to focus one part at a time. Currently I focus on breath. Now I'm focusing on the focus area. So the focus is important. One thought at a time. You cannot pass more than one thought to the audience, because audience needs time to process the thought, process the content, and store the content into the brain. So focus on one thought at a time. That covers F. VF is over. Now is. I is for inflection. So while if I speak in a monotonous voice, it will be boring for you, right? So I need to stress on few of the words which are important for you, all right? So that those keywords will remain with you forever. Now, how to do inflection? So if there is a word, the vowels are there, right? So in a suppose you have 7 sentences. In 7 sentences, 7 keywords are there. You should focus on these keywords, stress on those keywords. How to stress that? Just linger the vowel in the keyword. Stress. Okay, I'm just putting more, lingering the vowel E in the stress, right? So this is called inflection. Inflect those words, keywords that you want the audience to remember. Now S. Now moving on to the next is S. See the camera or look at the audience. When you are physically presenting, change the sentence, change the audience. Just see one person from the audience, complete the sentence, take a pause, move on to the next audience and next sentence. That's how you need to do. Okay, so that the audience feel that they are attended. Okay. Now the last 3 part is pause. After question, take a pause. Don't jump into the content. Take a pause in between so that audience gets time to process whatever they have listened. Okay. Now H is for hands. Use your hands to give weightage to the content or direction to your speech. That so the audience feel guided. So that gets 55% to the 55% weightage that I mentioned, along with your legs and the body movement while you are speaking in physically in front of the audience. Last is D, dump the injections. So we use complex words, this, XYZ, and this, or sometimes but, whereas. these are the conjecture or injections you use to form complex or compound sentences, right, while presenting. So try to how to find a compound sentence if you are using too much and but. If just remove those, your sentence will be broken down into simple sentences, easy to remember and simple to use. So these are the four techniques. If I summarize, BF is PhD: breathe, focus, inflection, see, pause, hand, and dump. These techniques will help us to increase our 93% weightage in our speech. In addition to our content, the, the verbal part, visual, and vocal part will improve and will make you a better speaker. So next time, whenever you are preparing, just focus to improve only one part per week. So it will take 7 weeks to improve completely. It will take time. So focus on one part of the speech at a time for 7 weeks. You will improve, and watch the YouTube videos World Champion of Public Speaking. Thank you.
Amazing. Full of content, full of knowledge. In fact, the whole book club theme is set right now. Great content, Girija. Thank you so much for sharing your content. Wonderfully spoken. So we'll move to the next speaker. Nikita, if you're online, I can spotlight you.
Hi.
Yeah, Nikita.
Is it working?
Yes.
If the call drops, I'll reconnect using my mobile, okay? Because
Sure.
my internet is not very stable. Gosh, it's a lot of pressure to go after Girija right now, and I haven't spoken in a while, but I've been missing book club, so I really want to do this. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, it's working. And let me see if I can just, oh, I don't know if I can, okay, I'm gonna leave it. Sorry. So I had started talking about the 10 golden rules for leaders, and I'm just continuing with that. I did kind of mention that you don't have to be a manager or kind of a CEO to apply this into your life. This can be for your professional as well as personal life, okay? So the first rule was, we saw, don't expect others to do things that you wouldn't do yourself. Preach only what you've practiced. The next one we had covered was, fear is commanded, respect is earned. And in that we covered a couple of points, which is take interest in others and offer genuine praise. I won't go into details of this right now. We've already done this. Do not criticize or condemn, and don't begin your sentence with but, no, but, or however. So today, for the third one, I'm going to attempt to tell you 3 stories in 3 minutes. That's quite a tall order, but let's do it. So first up is my boss, my current boss. He's Japanese, and he's a multimillionaire. We all used to think he's extremely rude, arrogant, and a typical millionaire who does not give a damn about anybody. He never replies to a single email from anyone. He does not care about the communication, nothing. So we all thought he's rude and arrogant. One day when he called me into his office to ask me, hey, I had asked you to do this, what happened? And I was like, well, I emailed you like 100 times. You never reply. And he was like, hang on, what email? I was like, I emailed you several times. And he was like, Nikita, look at me. I'm 80. The only information I get is from a newspaper, or if you come and tell me personally. That's the only way I know something. And that's when it dawned upon me, he's not a rich, arrogant millionaire. All he is, he's a simple 80-year-old man who does not even have a laptop. So that was my first revelation. Second up is a friend of mine who we all used to think was rather cheap. He used to avoid all kinds of dinner parties or movie nights or anything. And if he ever came, then when the bill was served, he was conveniently in the toilet. So we all used to think he's really cheap. And then one day I found out that he was actually in between jobs. He was actually fired from his job because he was constantly coming late because he was caring for his sick father. So now he had massive hospital bills and no job. Poor thing was really struggling, but we didn't know that because he was too embarrassed to tell us that he didn't have a job, he was fired. When we found this out, we friends kind of helped him out, got him a part-time job that suited his needs, and he could look after his father as well as take care of the bills. Now, what I learned from these two people, well, actually thousands of people, but I haven't got the time to tell you 1,000 stories, but what it made me really reflect upon is the fact that had these people been honest right from the beginning about their shortcomings, vulnerabilities, things that they don't know, people would have been a lot more helpful, a lot more supportive, and there wouldn't have been this normal misconception about them. So third up in the story is me, because I reflected upon this and I soon realized the image that I have in my company was people used to think I'm a snobbish, successful person who does not want to socialize with people, who does not want to sit in the staff room or the office and work with others, who does not go to any staff parties, who sits alone and works in a cabin. And that's when I realized that's not who I am. But because I was not open about my vulnerabilities, that is the impression that I had created. I am on the spectrum and I have misophonia. So it's not that I like to avoid people. I just find it really difficult to deal with certain triggers and certain social situations. And that's why I tend to avoid them. It's not after choice. It's simply a matter of what I can do and what I can't do. When I told this to my colleagues were extremely supportive of me. And I no longer am the snobbish B word of the office, but I am someone that they come to when they need me. So what I want to say and conclude with is be honest to be trustworthy. So when you're honest with yourself and with your team, people will be able to help you and you will be able to help them and understand them. Accept your mistakes and your shortcomings and your vulnerabilities as well. And lastly, well, most importantly, trust yourself and trust others. And that's how you will build a team, cooperation, and more like a family. That's about it. Thank you.
Amazing. Lovely presentation, Nikita. Learned 3 new stories, and definitely it is impactful when you share the real life stories. It really connects us. Thank you so much for sharing. Great. So we'll move to the next speaker. Sashi, I think you raised your hand. You want to go next?
Yes, very right.
Yeah.
Last time, when I'm going through some different blog post, there I get to know if a pilot flies 1 degree off course, he will miss his target by 17 meters after 1 kilometer of flying. That means if you board in Amsterdam for a flight to Kenya, you will end up in middle of Somalia. I felt this statement is a little bit surprise for me at the time. Hi everyone, today's my topic is all about taking actions from the compounding effect by the Darren Hardy. Now, there is a one difference between the planes and people's here. Aeroplanes have an autopilot that steers the aircraft in a right direction. With the same, people's internal autopilot is broken by default and it will guide us to the wrong side most of the time because our brain is wired. Lot of time it will tell, don't take risks and save energy for your movement when you face a lion. How crazy it was. Because it's all a really weird by the human brain. Let me give some quick scenarios and you will need to think with your natural mind in all the cases. I'm repeating. Sitting in couch versus hitting the gym. In these both options, what is your mind is taking? So is your mind is taking sitting in your couch option or hitting the gym? One more scenario I will give. Go with the flow versus make a solid career plan. Again, what's your mind is saying right now in the both the options? Not convinced? Again, one more scenario is there. Watching Netflix versus doing a side project that is important to you. One more time again, what your mind is saying right now again. One more scenario I will give. Eating junk food versus taking a healthy diet. Which option your mind is picking right now after hearing these many scenarios? Naturally, let's suppose if you are thinking too much about these, selecting the options, but you are not naturally thinking anymore of the selection in the right side. Even including me, myself, when I asked myself, do you prefer sitting in the couch versus sitting in the gym? Most of 80% of the time, I used to prefer sitting in the couch because that's how our human brain is there. Because all the time, our brain thinks in a comfort zone. An easy option is very comfortable our brain. Naturally, our brain picks these kind of mental decisions all the time until unless we break the pattern. Once we break the pattern, lot of smarter decisions will come out from your brain. Most of your life decisions, I have made it in the comfort zone myself. Somehow I overcome with those problems by taking a small effective decisions every day consistently without a single break, without any holiday. That's where your smarter decisions will come into the picture. When you take a smaller decision continuously every day in a smarter way, by doing every day rigorously, you will be out of a different person altogether after some couple of time. That's how the compounding will work. When I going to the book name, The Atomic Habit, yeah, I think so, yeah, Atomic Habit. Yeah. So when I go into the same book, the author has said one point. So if you change your habit 1% regularly on everyday basis, you will be end up 37% of any year. Let's suppose if you're taking a bad decisions 1% every day, and you will end up in a very negative side of the end of the year. If you see in the positive scenario, 37% per year is a very big thing. I think it's more than like a Bitcoin price. If you see the returns I'm just talking about, you will get a very bigger returns when you change yourself 1% every day. Focusing on the right decision every day, however they are small or big, whatever it may be, but taking a different kind of smarter decision every day, it will tell you what is your personality and it will define you where you will land up in your career. So I'm just giving the scenario to you. Do you end up in the Kenya or do you end up in the Somalia? What is your direction? So that's how my talk will be end, and I'm just over to you, Kiran.
Amazing. And Sashi, I love the ending. Are you in Somalia or are you where you want to be? Super. Thank you so much, Sashi, for sharing your talk. It was really wonderful to hear you always. Great. So we'll move to the next speaker. Pankaj, if you're ready with your talk, I can spotlight you. Yes, Pankaj, you have to unmute. Yes.
Can I share my screen? Hello.
Yeah, Pankaj, you can share.
Is it visible to all?
No, not yet. You have not shared yet. Go ahead, Pankaj.
Don't work for money, make your money work for yourself. This is the favorite quote said by Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, who is himself as a millionaire and the author of world's best-selling book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Hello everyone, my name is Pankaj Patil. Presently, I am working at ISC Bangalore. Today, I am going to talk on 5 pieces of financial advice that everyone must know. The first, if you are started earning recently, or you have been earning for a while, but haven't invested yet, then start investing early. So my first point is start investing early. If you are a college student, if you are a college student and invested 500 per month at an early stage, then you will get a better benefit of for a longer period. Warren Buffett said, I have made my first investment at the age of 11. So if you invested early, you will get a benefit of compounding interest. What is compound interest? Compound interest is the earning interest on the interest which you have already earned. I will give you one example of Ramesh. He has invested some principal amount 1000 for first year at a rate of 12% and get a interest of 120 rupees. For the next year, he will added that amount to your principal amount, and he will got a interest on already which he had got the interest. At the end of the 5th year, he got a very good amount of return, uh, and uh, and will get a benefit of compounding interest. I will tell you one story of two friends, Karan and Rohit, who are studied in same school, same college, and got placed in same company on the same job at the age of 22 years. Karan is a very wise. He has invested from his income 5,000 per month at the age of 22 years. On the other hand, Rohit invested. On the other hand, Rohit his expense. He invested in his expenses in comfort and luxuries. He invested in luxury, expensive electronic gadgets. At the age of 40 years, he started his investment 15,000 per month at the age of 40. On the other hand, Karan started early at the rate of interest 12%. At the retirement age, both are Karan invested very less as compared to Rohit, but the total amount he got return, the Karan got very good returns compared to Rohit. It is 3 times more than Rohit. This is because of a compounding effect. Karan started investment in at very early age. That's why he got a very good returns. My second point is first invest and then spend. We are unnecessarily invest in expensive electronic gadgets. We are go to restaurants twice or thrice a week for a dinner, and we are unnecessarily spending our too much money. So first build our asset, and from this asset column we get some extra income, and from that extra income we can spend this money into our gadgets or any luxury things. My third point is buy assets and not liabilities. Asset is something which takes money into your pocket, and liability is something which takes money out of your pocket. So the examples of assets are stocks. We can invest in stocks in Indian stock market, which will give you better returns. Also invest in real estate. And on the other hand, liabilities. If we buy a expensive car, luxury car, at the first day it is asset, but at the next day itself it decreases its value and becomes a liability. If you buy a car on a bad loan which having a high interest rate, it will become liability. So my fourth point is diversify your investment. Don't put all the eggs in the same basket, in one basket. If it is full, all the eggs will fall down and it will break. So diversify your investment into 3 categories: low risk, moderate risk, and high risk. Low risk includes saving account, fixed deposit, recurring deposit. Moderate risk includes real estate, mutual fund, large capital stocks, and high risk includes small capital stocks, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin. So if we classify, means it depends on how much risk you can take. You can invest as per your convenience. So for low risk, interest rate is 3 to 8%, moderate risk is 8 to 12%, and which can be increased up to 15%. And on high risk, 15 to 13%, and which has no limit. So if you want a better benefit, means if you want you don't lose any in returns, So if you follow this strategy, 40% on low risk, 40% on moderate risk, and very less 20% on high risk, which has high risk. So if you follow this strategy, you will get a better returns. And last but not the least is the fifth point is invest in your learning. Everyone do specialization and working in your job. Apart from that, if you have seeking any new skill, it will become an asset for you. So at that time, I mean, if you are gaining any extra new skill, it will give you asset for, it will give you benefits for a future, and it will become an asset. If you are investing time also, this is also an asset for upskilling yourself and gaining new knowledge. As a personal example, from my personal example, before after completion my masters, I have gained knowledge about RF and microwave oven, and I got a job at IIIT Jabalpur as a junior research fellow and working on DRDO project. In that time, I have something integrate my RF field into VLSI and semiconductor domain, and now I'm working at ISC Bangalore as a project associate, and I integrate my skills. This will help to my in your future also. So wealth is not only a asset. You can invest your time for your personal growth and health also. It will become your asset. That's all from my side. Thank you all. This is over to you, Kiran.
Amazing, Pankaj. I'm so happy that from the last talk till this talk, so much of improvement. You're putting a lot of preparation, bringing the PPT and presenting a lot of PPT and discovered and shared all those points. Amazing effort, Pankaj. And the best part was your own story while you shared the point as well. So keep learning and keep growing. Thank you so much for sharing, Pankaj. Great. So we'll go for the next speaker. I think Kaushik has some internet issue. Mohini, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure, Kiran. I can go next.
Yep.
Oh my God, I think we all are becoming finance expert now. Like we don't need any CAs or any help from outside. Everyone in book club knows for personal finances now. Very nice presentation, Pankaj. Okay, so I'll start. So my topic is about, I think I'll let it be a surprise. I mean, I'll let you guys to guess it. So today we're going to discuss about like, there are two kind of people we have seen, like when we were in school or when we were in college. So some people achieved more and some people, they remain, they were like performing, but then they were average, like they were not the achievers. So what is the reason? Like what are those factors which determines or which makes a person an achiever? So I'll be talking about few points and you guys can use the comment section and try to say whether you think that this is the factor which determines the, how a person can become an achiever. So just type yes or no when for whichever point you feel like. Okay, so the first point is family background. So it depends so much on your family background, from where you're coming, like whether your family is supporting you or not, whether you are the way you are being brought up, like your beliefs, your faith, all coming from your family background, right? So do you believe that, I mean, do you think that coming from a different family background would have helped you or would have led you to achieve more? That's the first point. Okay, maybe you can use the chat box to answer it with a yes or no, if you can, if you think. Okay, so let me just say that then that it's not the point, that's not the factor. Then the second factor which I can think of is having a wealth, like you have inherited some wealth from your grandparents or your parents, and now you have so much money, so you can do some business or you can invest in some things and get more wealth. So is that a factor that determines to be a person, to be an achiever? Exactly, correct. So it's not. Okay, then the next reason I would say, you all know the book Man's Search for Meaning. So Viktor Frankl, he went through concentration camp and he survived out of that. So do you feel that getting into an adverse situation helps you? Like when you are in such situation, only then you can be an achiever? Again, that's not the right reason. Okay, then another I can think of is like getting an opportunity. Like suppose two people are working on the same project and then they get an opportunity. So do you feel that the person who gets the opportunity can become an achiever? Because opportunity is usually subjective. Like some people might think it as an opportunity, some people might not. So yeah, I can see, I think many no's are coming. So yes, you guys are right. All these factors are not the one which determines, how a person can be an achiever. So the one factor which determines this lies in your childhood. So remember when we were kids and we got a bicycle, we started riding that bicycle. And when we started riding, the first day, do you remember? You fell, and you fell really hard. And then do you remember the second day you started again riding, and this time again you fell, but it was not that that hard. You got little minor cuts here and there, but still. And then third day again you started. So that is the thing which determines. So what is it? It's failure. So it's basically, the thing is that how you perceive and how you respond to failure is what matters. So if you open up any biography or any autobiographies and you see that the people who are achievers, you will definitely learn that they fell hard, but they knew how to handle those failures. This is something which is not being taught in our society, in our education system. Everyone wants to get A plus. Nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to learn from their failure. So that's the thing, like how you perceive and how you respond to the behavior matters the most for your achievements. So we'll be talking more about this topic in the next session, that how you can handle, like how can you see the failures eye to eye and say that I will not fail and I'll be a winner. So we'll be talking about those points, but before ending it, Kiran, I have an access to share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just show one video from a very famous movie. You all might know, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. So there is one message in this poem. So try to see if you can understand that. Can you listen to the audio? I don't think. Wait, I'll stop again. Okay, I will share it again. Let me know if you're able to listen to the audio.
Yes.
जब जब दर्द का बादल छाया, जब गम का साया लहराया, जब आंसू पलकों तक आया, जब ये तन्हा दिल घबराया, हमने दिल को ये समझाया, दिल आखिर तू क्यों रोता है, दुनिया में यूं ही होता है। ये जो गहरे सन्नाटे हैं, वक्त ने सबको ही बांटे हैं। थोड़ा गम है सबका किस्सा, थोड़ी धूप है सबका हिस्सा। आग तेरी बेकार ही नम है, हर पल एक नया मौसम है। क्यों तू ऐसे पल खोता है, दिल आखिर तू क्यों रोता है।
Yeah, so did you get the meaning, what it was? So it's like वक्त ने सन्नाटे सबके हिस्से में बांटे. So everyone has to go through the failures, and then they have to come and they have to rise. So yeah, I think that's all I had. Maybe next week we'll talk about how to deal with it. Yeah.
Wonderful, Mohini. Loved it. Loved the presentation. Completely loved it. And definitely the words which the video was speaking was so clear. It was just zooming in my head using the earphones. It was amazing. Truly good.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you so much,
just
Mohini.
remembered when I was preparing this, like I was cooking something and I remembered, oh, this video makes so much sense to this topic. I was like, I just searched it and I prepared it. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. So I think before we move to the next part of the session, we'll quickly have a short introduction of people who have not spoken and who are completely new. So I see there are a few people who have joined for the first time. So I would request you to unmute yourself and show your face if possible, and share your name, where do you locate, and who invited you. So anyone who have joined for the first time, a small request to you. I don't know if Kiran Bhavsar. Kiran, if you have joined for the first time, you can unmute yourself. And
Hi everyone. Yeah, this is Kiran Bhavsar. Basically, I am from Mumbai, and Karthik has invited me for this wonderful club. So I'm looking forward to a very knowledgeable thing from you over here, and let's see. Will like to contribute from my part also.
Definitely, Kiran. Definitely looking forward to hear you from you as well. Thank you so much, Kiran. Great. Anyone else who is new, joined for the first time? I know Saundarya. Saundarya, I think you've joined for the first time, right? Maybe you can now switch on your video and audio and quickly introduce your name, who invited you, and where do you locate.
And because
No
of
worries.
that, I'm not able to switch on my camera. Sorry about that.
Yeah. You can go with the audio itself. Yeah.
Hi all. My name is Soundarya. I'm based out of Bangalore, and I was invited by Sasi Sekhar Seven to this club. I was just curious how this club functions and then what learnings are shared. So I would like to be an active member in this and also share my learnings along with the learning from you all. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Saundarya, for your intro. Great. Did we miss anyone else? I think we covered everyone. So if I've missed anyone, do message me back. I'll call you so that you can introduce to the team as well. Okay, great. So before we go to the next part of it, Karthik, if you can play Vijay's short teaser of the highlights, what Sashi had edited this week as well for the PIM highlights.
Yeah, Kiran.
Shared in the Telegram.
Okay, give me a second. I'll just open it.
Is tomorrow, irrespective of what your father have kept your name, but surname is tomorrow. Check it out. We all are guilty of it. I am guilty of it myself in a lot of areas, not in all the areas for sure. Workload has not increased. Multitasking is the problem that we feel workload has increased. Work more or less is same. Trust on me. If you really see into the depth of it without getting offended, work is more or less same. When you work from home, your multitasking is becoming your villain and you're not able to focus on a task for a longer period of time, which you were able to do in your office. That's the only difference. That means somewhere we do not know how to prioritize things. If their speech pattern is about what they're accomplishing, that means they're moving forward. Stay with them. If the speech pattern is, you know what, our childhood was awesome, once in a while understandable, always childhood was awesome, always college days was awesome, come on. Is there no awesome thing right now? Is there no awesome thing in the future? What are we talking about? Always in past, it doesn't work. That means they're stuck. It's like their tape is stuck. Let me give you one simple piece of advice from my experience. Money making is not that difficult. I repeat again in a simple terms, money making is not that difficult. Stop listening to people who are programming you negatively that money making is difficult. It is not difficult. If you have two things. Number one, belief in yourself. First thing, if you have belief in yourself and you're passionate about certain things, these are the only two ingredients required. Do you realize in pandemic, despite staying at home, we don't stay together? Have you realized? We are at home, but we are not together. Have you seen or not? Because we are always having some work. I can tell you one thing for sure, intentionally take out a time and spend together. Because during pandemic, the way it look like is you are always at home. But being always at home, still not there, is the biggest challenge we all are facing. Only reason we don't have time is because we are not able to prioritize things. If I can assure you, if during pandemic you have a time problem, then post-pandemic you will never have time. I can assure you. Because during pandemic, we are at home, we can save time, we can prioritize things in a much better. Only thing is we are not prioritizing, we are taking granted. When you're at home, we take things for granted. We end up sleeping more, we end up doing a lot of other things which doesn't add value, but we are not focused.
Thank you so much, Karthik, for playing this video, and thank you, Sashi, for editing as usual. Sashi always does proactively after the PM session happens. He takes the video and just he pings me in WhatsApp and Telegram. Kiran said it. Amazing proactive way to serve the community, Sashi. Thank you so much. Great. So we'll move to the next speaker. Ash, if you're online, I can spotlight you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? If you want to achieve something in your life, what is more important to know? Your strengths or your weaknesses? Now, some people say that strengths are more important to show, while others say that weaknesses are more important to be removed. I remember that day I was watching Discovery Channel and I saw cheetah, the world's fastest animal, hunting chinkara. Now we all know cheetah has so many strengths: small flat face, large eyes with binocular vision, and large nostrils, and large lungs to take more oxygen, and large heart and arteries to spread that oxygen throughout the body. And chinkara is nowhere in front of cheetah. Now the hunt starts. Chinkara comes close to cheetah. Now the run starts. Cheetah is running. Chinkara is running. But Chinkara soon realizes he is nowhere in speed. Purposefully, Chinkara slows down. Cheetah feels Chinkara has given up. Cheetah accelerates to the maximum speed, comes close to Chinkara and about to attack Chinkara. Chinkara turns. Cheetah goes here and Chinkara goes here. Chinkara knew that at the highest speed, cheetah cannot turn the way Chinkara can. So the inability of cheetah to turn decided the future of the battle. Maybe in our lives, we have reached somewhere because of our strengths. And maybe we will reach somewhere because of our strengths. But maybe the weaknesses will stop us from moving ahead after that. So I feel that both strengths and weaknesses are very important to take into consideration, because we don't know when our strength becomes our weaknesses and our weaknesses becomes our strength. So only if you're aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, then only you can adjust to any situation or condition the way Chinkara did. Over to you, Kiran sir.
Wonderful, wonderful presentation, Arsh. Really loved it. In fact, one very good thing about Arsh is that he records his talk and shares with me just almost 2 days before the book club starts. And his talk time limit is exactly 2 minutes, 45 seconds. So I don't know if you observe, his talk is so concise and precise, and he covers the talk very beautifully within 3 minutes, and definitely lets other speakers also to speak. Great. Wonderful talk, Arsh. Thank you so much for speaking. All right.
Thank you.
Great. We'll move to the next speaker. Santosh, if you're online, you can go next. Santosh.
Yeah. Yeah, Kiran.
Yeah, Santosh.
Thank you.
Can go ahead.
Yeah, hello all. Good evening. Thank you, Kiran, for the opportunity. Yeah, this is my first talk on this club. So today I decided to talk on a very important aspect of our growth story. So I feel the very important aspect of a growth story on which everyone we are acting upon is our mind. So we want to control our mind. We want to know how it works. We want to know how it behaves in various scenarios. So today I'm going to talk about how mind basically works. So I am taking experts from a book called Thinking Fast and Slow from an author called Daniel Kahneman. So there's a Nobel Prize winner for behavioral economics, basically. So I am going to share my screen. So he doesn't give any fancy name to it. It is just a system 1 and system 2. So so what is system 1 and system 2? System 1 can just be thought of as a subconscious mind, and system 2 as a cautious mind. So our growth story, or our behavior, or what we become in our life, and what have we become in our life, it all largely have dependent upon how the system 1 and system 2 have collaborated each other until up to now in our life, and what this has shaped our life. So let's see how system 1 and system 2 basically works and what are they. So characteristics of system 1 and system 2. So what does system 1 do? The system 1 is very fast, is very and automatic and involuntary. So there is no need for you to invoke system 1. It is fast and it is automatic. For example, so when you are driving a car, and if you suddenly see a dog crossing by, so you are fast at it and you're automatic at it, and involuntarily you just suddenly press a brake on from your foot. So this is how it is. This is the function of system 1. The next part is the next characteristic of system 1 is the system 1, while it is working, it takes very less energy, and literally there is no effort out of mind it is required. So you need not put any effort for a system 1 to come in and take up. And most part of the system 1 is our evolutionary gift. So what do you mean by evolutionary gift? So system 1 kicks in when there is a sudden sound. So for example, there is a explosion nearby, we unintentionally turn towards the sun and we see and we just run away from that. So this is a lot of things like that. That is evolutionary gift. We have a system from system 1. And the system 1 doesn't doubt at all. So it doesn't have any doubts. It just acts. It just acts. It doesn't think. And system 1 gives impressions and feelings. So impressions is very different. Like when we see someone, like if we see a woman who is crying, it just gives us a first impression about what is happened with that woman, and our mind goes through a number of things what might have gone wrong with just seeing a picture. So that is an impression. It generates an impression and feeling towards whatever we are seeing. And the best part is the system 1, it can be trained by system 2 and other stuff, and etc. There are a lot of stuff to talk about the system 1. And the system 2, talking about system 2, the system 2 is slow. So it requires attention, it takes attention. So system 2, it always kicks in whenever our system 1 is not in action. Like whenever there is an effortful task comes into attempts for system 1, it basically hands it over to system 2. For example, if you want to compute difficult multiplication like 11 cross 22, so system 1 fails and it hands the control to system 2. And system 2, it takes away from energy from mind and it takes effort to do this stuff. And the system 2 is basically lazy. He doesn't want to work. And this guy, he always is in a lazy mode. If there is a 3 ways of achieving one goal, and this guy will always take a shortest path and easiest way to reach that goal. So, and this guy is disrupted when attention is drifted apart. So when we are giving up attention for a particular task, so my system 2 is working, so I'm driving and I'm trying to overtake, so I'm giving my full attention to it, and somebody disrupts my attention and system 2 is gone. He's no more, like he cannot give proper attention to whatever the task it is doing. It gets disrupted when attention is disrupted. And system 2 is responsible for making choices and constructing steps for various tasks that we do. And it is allocated for such effortful mental activities by system 1. And the most important thing is, like, we identify ourselves with this. So what actually we are, so we are identified by our system too. So how fast we are, like how effectively we can control our system too, is what we are. Yeah. So basically, so I want to conclude that saying that our growth story or whatever we want to become. So it is like we want to have more control of our system 2, rather more than in system 1. So system 2 is our conscious part of our mind. So we have to be conscious at every moment of your life, ignoring the cues and in suggestions of system 1. So there is a lot to talk about it. So maybe our time wouldn't permit us. Like I'll continue in the next talk. Thank you, Kiran. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Santosh. And the book is amazing, a wonderful book. And I'm sure the next talk of yours in the next book club is also will be amazing. I'm waiting for that.
Thank you.
Great. Awesome, Santosh. All right. So we'll move to the next speaker. Karthik, do you want to go next? Karthik, let me spotlight.
Yeah, Kiran. Hope you're hope my voice is audible.
Yes, yes.
I think coincidentally my PPT is also having a same design of Santosh. So okay, hi all. This is Karthik and Sana. We both work in IT industry, and she works in the investment banking. So today I have split my talk into 2 parts. Okay, in the first talk I'll share the PPT and make it interactive, and in the second talk I'll share some stories. Okay, so I'm going to continue from this book, Becoming a Person of Influence by John Maxwell. So if you remember last week. I just share my PPT. I was talking about integrity, right? So I was talking about becoming a person of influence. So what is the next step in becoming a person of influence? So in my last talk, I was talking about being a model and having that integrity. Okay. So today I'll be speaking about how you can be a natural nurturer, right? So actually the author talks about multiple aspects in when you motivate people. That is having faith in people, listening to them, understanding them, and nurture. I am going to talk about one important aspect, that is being a nurturer, how we can be a natural nurturer, right? Okay, so if you want to be a natural nurturer, right, first you have to concentrate more. I mean, you have to focus more on giving rather than getting. Okay, so you have to give. What you have to give, you can give in multiple areas, and it can be like on your friends, employees, colleagues, family members, whatever, wherever, whichever aspect you want to apply. Okay, so I'll share you have to give 5 in 5 areas what the author talks about. So what I do is let us be interactive. I'll show 5 easy words. Okay, these 5 areas are very simple and easy. You have to fill in the blank and you have to guess it. Okay, then I'll continue it. Right, I have made it easy so that we can finish quickly and you can also guess easily, right? So you are ready for the game, right? So you can either talk or you can put it in the chat. So what is the first area, right? So can anybody guess? Anybody there who can guess this word? I think I'm getting some chats. 1 second. Okay, love, right? So it's very easy, right? So what does it mean? Like if you see if to your close friends, right? So are you able to express the love and appreciation to them? Okay, so do they feel that how much they mean to you? Okay, don't assume that they will be they can feel your love and appreciation. You have to tell them, right? So this is first thing. So the second area, okay, can you guess? Oh, sorry, I was very fast. Okay, yeah, so it's respect. So the author talks about this interesting story of a lady who is very new to this town, and she visits a drugstore in that town, right? And she didn't have a very good experience visiting the drugstore. So she comes back home, and what does she do? She tells her next neighbor. Okay, so how pathetic her experience was with this drugstore. So the next time when the lady visits the same drugstore, she was very surprised to see how beautifully, like how gracefully the owner greeted her, and how the owner helped her with this new town giving some directions in this new town, and they effectively gave her order. So when she came back home and she went to the neighbor and asked whether this lady went and spoke about her first experience to the drugstore owner. So the neighbor was like, no, I went and told him that she had respected this guy in the drugstore so much that she has not, it's so very nicely built up drugstore in that small town, and she has not seen such a good drugstore in that town. So the neighbor understood that people respond to respect, right? So let me share the next one. What is this? Any guess? What word does it indicate? Security, exactly. So when you talk about security, right, the author tells safe and being safe and having a sense of security, right? If people have trust on you and they see what environment you are in, right, and if you provide a safe and secure environment to the people, their potential will increase and they do their best. A good leader who understands this point, right, he creates a safe environment for people to flourish, right? So let me share the next area. So can you guess what is this?
Recognition.
Absolutely. So coming to recognition, I think this is very easy, right? So I hope you have rewards on recognition ceremony in your office. So or if your work is not recognized or if it's not appreciated, what will you do, right? You will switch company. So what will the next area? Okay, let me show the next area. So 1 second. So can you guess this?
Encouragement.
Yeah. So the fifth area the author talks about is encouragement, and he gives a very beautiful statement around this, right? So you flatter me, okay, and I may not believe you. Criticize me, and I may not like you. Ignore me, and I may not forgive you. Encourage me, and I will not forget you. So these are 5 important areas which the author talks about where you can give. Okay. So if you, as a leader, if you give, okay, what will they gain? I mean, what will the people gain? What will they receive? Right. One is positive self-worth. So I hope you know that having improving your self-image and self-esteem is directly proportional to your net worth. I think in one of PIM talks also, Vijay was mentioning like people, we were listening to previous, Pankaj talk also, right? People invest on stocks, shares, real estate, and mutual funds, whatever it is, okay, thinking that it is worth. But how much are you investing on yourself, right? So Vijay says, are you investing at least 10 to 20% of your income on your personal growth, right? That depends, that improves your self-image, self-worth, right? So second thing is what author talks, what the people receive is sense of belonging. Okay, again, there was this farmer, and this farmer in a village, he always used to hitch up his old mule to a 2-horse plow. Okay, so and as soon as he does that, he used to say, okay, get up Robert, get up Satchel, get up Betty. And after some time, the neighbor saw this farmer and asked him whether this mule has having multiple names, right? And the farmer replied, not exactly. This mule is actually blindfolded, right? And his name is Pete. Okay, if the mule hears other names, so it thinks there are other mules also working with him. Okay, so when you are working with a team, the attitude will improve. Okay, that is his thing. And third thing is about perspective. Okay, so for most people, it's not what they are that holds them back, it's what they think they are not, right? So if you are in an association where people keep criticizing you, discouraging you, what will be your future? Okay, so for example, you can take this book club as an example. People genuinely appreciate for what their candidates speak, right? So what is the perspective there? So fourth thing is feeling of significance. It's needless to say, people feel significant. And the last thing is I wanted to talk about what they receive is hope, right? Again, this student, Tommy, who was in a class, okay, he was not able to understand what the teacher used to say. And the teacher had a hard time making him understand and making him learn. And finally, the teacher gave up, right? He told his mom, Tommy's mom, I can't do nothing. I'm giving up. And this guy is no more. He can't, he can't go anywhere. So, but the mom didn't give up. Okay, she actually nurtured the Tommy very much, and she gave a lot of hope and encouragement that he can do. Now Tommy has more than like 1,000 patents, and you remember electricity bulb, right? So this Tommy is nothing but Thomas Alva Edison. So what they receive is 5 things: positive self-worth, sense of belonging, perspective, feeling of significance, and hope. So these 5 things the people receive when you, as a leader, give to people in the 5 areas which we actually played a game, right? So yeah, this is what I wanted to share, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karthik, for a wonderful talk. In fact, the book is superbly amazing. John C. Maxwell and Jim Donnan wrote that book, Person of Influence. Everyone should read it. I think it's a very good book to read. All right. Sahana, will you be speaking today? Sahana?
I'm a pure audience this week.
So your audience today. Okay, fine. So let's take 2 more speakers then, Shrikant and Yogita. So Shrikant, before I call you, let me call Yogita. Yogita, will you go next? I'll spotlight.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yogita. Today's my topic is the few things you must sacrifice to have a better future. So, which things are you must be sacrificed for the better future? So, first thing is what? Other people's definition of success. Yes, it is very important. And we focused on that. What is the other people's definition of success? At some point, I realized that I had to give up other people's definition of success. This is one of the most difficult things to give up because it is so deeply embedded in our cultural narratives that it becomes the standard by which we measure our lives. Success doesn't just mean what the larger mob of society says. It means lots of money, fame, and fortune. Many people with fame, fortune, and money have terribly empty, imbalanced lives, and that we know. So, your success isn't defined by what other people say. No, no one can define your success but you. If you continue to let others tell you what success is, you will never reach to it. Even if you did, it wouldn't be a true success. It's not what you really valued. Do you really want a 1 million Twitter followers? Do you really want to become a very rich person? Or is your version of success more narrowed, more focused, or more specific? No. So, if you want to live an extraordinary life, your definition of success must be your own. We must listen our own voice and achieve it. So, second thing is what? Busyness. The most successful people I know are not busy, they are focused. These quote by Jeff Goins, who is best-selling author. How you spend your days is how you spend your life. A lot of people love being busy. I'm very busy. And they wear it as a badge of honor. When you ask them how they have been, what the response? I'm so busy. And they like this feeling. But when you are busy, you don't really do anything because you are not focused also. But when you choose to be focused, to spend your time and energy and achieving your true goal, that's where the magic happens. Choose focus, not the busyness. So this is very important. Choose the focus, not busyness. Then third thing is looking good. If you want to look good, if you want everyone to think you have all the answers, then you will fooling all of them and yourself also. True success comes from knowledge, humility, and becoming a student of your craft. Okay, so this thing is not very important, looking good. So, in conclusion, good things come from sacrifice. If you want you have never had, you must do what you have never done. If you start sacrificing the right things so you can have a better future. Don't let anyone define success but you. Stop being busy and start being focused. Don't worry about the looking good. Spend your time wisely because many things want your attention of energy. So make sure that these are the right things. So this is my topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yogita. Wonderfully covered your topic, and definitely it'll add a lot of value to all of us. All right. So we have around very less time, around 10 minutes we have. We'll see if we can take to one or two more speakers. Okay. Shrikant, you can go next. I'll spotlight you.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Shrikant, you're audible. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it possible for you to switch on the video as well?
Right, on it. Yes. And it's like this, it takes 2 minutes, sort of. So please close your eyes quickly, everyone, if you can. I don't think that's so hard. All right, so take a deep breath and then just imagine one of the most compassionate person you have in your life. Maybe your mother, maybe your partner, maybe your girlfriend, whoever it is. Most compassionate person, unconditionally feel love towards whatever the situation. Now, again, take a deep breath. And when you are releasing your breath, imagine this compassion expanding to your whole building. So you feel compassionate towards everyone in your apartment, in your house. Now take another deep breath. And then when you are releasing your breath, imagine this compassion expanding towards your whole city. Now take another deep breath. And then when you are releasing, imagine this expanding to the whole country. For the next deep breath, imagine your compassion expanding to the whole world. Feel that you are connected to everyone in this world and you are feeling compassionate towards everyone you meet, irrespective of you know them or not. This is the first phase of meditation. It's called compassion. And as a second phase, think about 3 things that you are grateful about yourself. Let it be your personality. You might be looking insanely smart and awesome or handsome, or you might be talking so nice, or you have a good humor, you are good at writing things. And then try to remember 3 things that you are grateful at your workplace. And if you have a harassing boss and a worst workplace, I could give you 3 things. And in this pandemic, no one is having a job, but then still you have a job. That's one thing you can be grateful for. The second thing is, while everyone is not even getting a salary, you are getting a salary and you are letting your people eat at your home. That's the second thing you can be grateful for. And while everyone is struggling out there, you are sitting at your home, getting everything from the same place. Then think about 3 things that you are happy about your personal life. Maybe it's a book reading. Maybe it's something you are doing good in your relationship. Maybe it's something you're doing with your YouTube channel or something like that. This is called second phase of this meditation, the gratefulness. Now imagine someone you have immense hatred for. Maybe this is the first time. Let's not pick someone whom you want to kill right now. Start with someone small you had a fight with, maybe your mother, your partner, or someone of your friend. Imagine that friend and tell him that I forgive you for what you have done. And tell that I'm forgiving you not because you are right. I'm forgiving you because I want to be at peace. And I ask you to forgive me. Now imagine that person hugging you and telling you that he forgive you. This is third phase of meditation called forgiveness. Now imagine 3 years future into your life and what you want to be 3 years into the future. Maybe for example, you might want to have a life with a Ferrari car or a mansion or a duplex house. Once you imagine those things, try to put yourself in the scene. Imagine yourself walking on the lawn of your mansion, feeling the air, looking at the green grass which is watered just now. Imagine yourself in that car you want, hitting your leg on the accelerator and feeling the wind coming from the windows and that cologne spray within the car. This is the fourth step, what you want to become in your life. And now imagine what you have to do today if you want to be at the place where you want to be in 3 years. Maybe to have a mansion, maybe to become an awesome reader, maybe to have a channel of your own. Imagine the steps that you have to do, implement today so that you can achieve those things in 3 years. This phase is called phase 5, which is action items for your future. And finally, imagine a higher power. Let it be Jesus, let it be Lord Vishnu, let it be Allah, or if you don't believe in a religion, let it be your own spiritual power, your inner power, giving you a blessing, a warm light that is coming and shining upon your body and spreading all over. So this is giving you energy to do everything that you felt. Now take a deep breath and open your eyes. So this is called 6 phase meditation. So I'll quickly tell you what are the 6 steps are about. So the first one, compassion, is to make sure it will reduce your irritation towards the people. It will reduce your irritation towards their inability to do some things because of their weaknesses. And the second step is gratefulness, which will keep you at peacefulness because you are grateful with what you already have. Third one is forgiveness. Forgiveness is actually this meditation is tested in different places with wise plug to the brain. So when they did this, when someone is forgiving other person that they hate, this meditation beta state of the mind hit the curve in the maximum, which means forgiveness is proven to be making people at peace in the meditative state. Highest levels of meditations are attained during forgiveness. Then the first 3 aspects of this meditation are about happiness, which are not linked to anything that you want to do in life. And the next 3 aspects of this meditation is about work stuff, which you want to achieve in life, career, work and stuff. So every day when you wake up, try doing this for 3 to 4 minutes until next week. And next week I'll come up with next part of your 12 pieces of life book and we'll start implementing each piece every week and you will see a drastical change in these stuff. I don't want to extend anything beyond this because I'm already over time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Lovely, lovely, Shrikant, and amazing. We were in that imagination of yours, what you narrated, and it felt really awesome. And we could really visualize and get a lot of clarity as well. Thank you so much, Shrikant. Definitely looking forward for your next talk. All right, great. I think we are almost done. I can take last speaker. Nikhila, if you want to go next, you can go next. And then maybe we can wind up.
Yes, Kiran.
Yeah, go ahead, Nikhila.
I want to share my screen. Can I share it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about one important topic, which is the powerful silence from the book called The Miracle Morning. So, one second. Yep. Let me put it in a presentation mode. Yep. So the topic is the powerful silence. In this book, the author has spoken about 6 personality development practices, which is first thing is silence, and then A for affirmations, B for visualization, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribbing. So these are the 6 personal development practices that author has spoken about in this entire book, which we have to do it in our daily lives. I'm going to explain this silence topic by an example. Okay, suppose yeah, if if someone has asked some person to clean the house, okay, so what is the first thing that we think whenever this task has been given? Okay, we have to clean the house. So what is the tool that we need to use for this? So the first thing that comes to our mind is a broomstick. Okay, now we can clean the house using broomstick. Yeah, now we have, let's imagine that a house has been cleaned by using this, and it looks so good, means we get all the positive feelings, since positive emotions. So this is the one thing. So then next thing, what we can think is, so what is the another way that we can do so that it looks more clean? That the next thing is, yeah, we can use water. If we use water for cleaning the house, it will look more cleaner, and it will be uh, more compared to the, it will be more good in looking wise when compared to the first thing. So this is the second thing. And similarly we can use a vacuum cleaner. Means for doing one task we can have many options, like that. So similarly we can use room fresheners and all. So by doing all these things we can make the house clean. What I'm going to relate here is, so like how we use, how we do clean our house daily, it is our responsibility to cleanse our mind daily in a regular basis. So how are we going to do that? So for cleaning the house we are using broomstick as a tool. So what is the tool that we need to use to cleanse our mind? That is nothing but, I think just now Shrikant has spoken about this topic, a meditation again. Okay, so now we are using meditation as a tool. By putting it into a practice, we are removing the extra, mean we are removing negative thoughts from our mind again. So there are different kinds of meditations. So what kind of meditation will help us to do uh, to do this task in a better way? Similarly we have a breathing exercise, and then we can do chakra cleansing meditation, and then next thing that we do is the affirmations. So if we practice all these things in our daily life, in our daily lives, then it is a good thing for us. So the main thing that I wanted to tell is, so as we all do, right, cleaning our house is a daily activity. Like that we have to meditate daily, and we have to make it as a daily practice in order to have better results in our daily lives. So that is the thing that I wanted to convey here. And the last thing that what we know is, always a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. So that is the thing for today. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Nikhila.
Yeah.
Short and
Thanks.
crisp, very
Yeah.
visual.
Thanks
Amazing.
Kiran for this last minute, for giving me this chance.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for sharing your talk. All right, great. So I think I know we have a lot of speakers, and as I told last week, it's always a good problem to have a lot of speakers left, and we become a little competitive to get those chances.
So recently I had to present the projects kind of what do you call that, status report to some high authorities, like which are like 4 or 5 level ahead of me, right? So for the first time I was preparing the presentation, right? So Vijay had told that meet before the meet, right? Do meeting before the meeting, right? Do one-to-one meeting before going to the wide audience, right? What I did is, same presentation I presented to my immediate boss, okay, and his boss. So I was prepared twice before going to the higher audience, right? It felt like a smooth cakewalk for me while I did the real presentation to the higher audience. I didn't feel any jerk, so it was smooth. So this technique of meeting one-to-one before going to the wider meeting, it really helped, which he learned from Vijay last 6 months back, but it was there in my mind, so it helped. So